And, we used to get the Browns and the Giants games on TV.
Black and white TV?
Easy now, Jim. When you started watching TV, there was no sound.
Touche.
But I remember those games, the Browns and the Giants. It always seemed to come down to that for the playoffs. And I remember the matchups with Sam Huff and Jim Brown. And those were my first memories of pro football.
All right, let's relive that Browns-Giants rivalry on this memorable moment.
When you think of Cleveland Browns rivals, one naturally thinks of our neighbors to the east, the beloved Steelers. It brings to mind memories of players such as Jack Lambert and the potent Bradshaw air attack, one that every Cleveland fan loved to see dismantled. Or what about our fierce rivalry with our cousins to the south, the equally despised Bengals? In this week's memorable moment, we'll look back on one of the Browns' early rivalries, which spanned the 1950s and 60s.
The real one was New York. And they always had a good team, very scientific, very thinking team, excellent players, excellent management, and of course the New York press. So, and then they had Sam Huff, who was my nemesis, and I really enjoyed it, you know, because we'd go to New York, it'd be headlines. Huff is going to get Brown, and they were a great challenge. Very good for pro football at that particular time because pro football was really developing at that time.
Bill, growing up in Annapolis, you have to have some memories of that famous 58 championship game between the Colts and the Giants.
Well, I sure do. I was 6 years old. I was at my grandparents' house in Florida right before Christmas, and I can still remember watching the game on TV and Alan Meachie crashing through the line to win the game for the Colts.
You know, they say that that game made the NFL a part of American culture. And, of course, the week before they played the Colts now, the Giants faced the Browns and had to beat Cleveland to get into that championship game. So the Browns were very close to that historic championship game.
Well, and that would have deprived me of an important childhood memory.
Hadn't thought of it that way. All right, time now to check in with Mike Veneman. Jackie, what's Big Mike up to this week? A tribute to the 1964 Browns World Championship team.
Tim, that is surely a team that is still near and dear to many fans' hearts.
Of course, they beat the Colts, who came to town heavily favored with Johnny Unitas and that bunch, expected to have an easy go at the Browns.
But they did not. The Browns won that game. It was a shutout, 27-0, and Gary Collins caught 3 touchdown passes. Let's remember the 1964 championship Cleveland Browns.
From Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, welcome to the football game. The Cleveland Browns against the Baltimore Colts for the richest stake in professional football, the NFL title. The Colts with their 12-2 record. The Browns with their 10-3-1 mark. 2 former All-American teams fighting it for the right to replace the Chicago Bears as the best in the National Football League.
The greatest thing that happened to me was being drafted by the Cleveland Browns in 1964.
I don't remember the season that well, but I do remember the championship game because it was really a team victory.
It was because everybody was up and they were ready to play.
We had a lot of character. We had guys that were dedicated, and it was just a good group of men.
A lot of heart. Guys that worked together, played together, and enjoyed all the fruits of that ball game.
I think the biggest thing that stands out in my mind is the fact that we peaked at the right time that year.
Oh, wow. I tell you, the championship game shutting Baltimore out 27-0 was just a great thrill for the whole team.
That year, 1964, was an amazing one in that I was a starting player in my first year and helped contribute to a championship year. There are not many opportunities for a new player to come into the National Football League, to make it as a starting player, and to play on a championship team.
The last game of the year, we beat the Giants. I think it was 52-20, and we were playing with a lot of togetherness as a team, and the players seemed to like each other. And we were a big underdog to the Colts that year.
Baltimore was slated, it was favored very highly, and I can remember we used to stay at the Carter Hotel, and Saturday night before the game we'd go to a movie, and coming back A lot of the people from Baltimore stayed at the hotel. They had a big party going on the mezzanine and telling us that Baltimore is going to get us. And of course, can you imagine what that does to you mentally? The next game day you go out there, you're really primed and you're up in a bit. And I can remember Jim Kanicki, he had a great day that day, and Bo Gillespie. The defense played great, and Gary Collins had a great day. I can remember it because I had started the scoring. It was in that particular ball game.
Now they may make it 43 now as Franklin eases back. Here's the snap. The kick is in the air. It's far enough. It is good.
The thing that I think about most when we talk about our championship team was that the focus that we all had about just playing, really going down to the basics and really concentrating on the individual details of each one of our own assignments.
The Uniteds had thrown a little screen pass over to Lenny Moore, and Galen Fiss, our captain, outside linebacker, made a shoestring tackle for, I think, a 2-yard loss. Looking at the movies after the game, if he doesn't make that tackle, that could have been a touchdown.
And a beautiful tackle to the 21-yard line by Galen.
The defense played tremendously. Gary Collins had a great game. Frank Ryan had a great game. Everybody was so satisfied. And I was just one of the boys in that game. I just did my part.
Look at Jim Brown turning left end. He's to the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Jim Brown to the 30. He's to the 20. Jim Brown is down to the 7.
I'm really privileged to have played, with the Browns, but also on that championship team. It was a great experience.
Many players go through an entire career never having those experiences. So for me, 1964 was a very, very special year.
I really enjoyed that. It was like the end of my career and the highlight of my career.
At right end. Ryan to throw. Blitz on. There's a long bomb to Collins, and he got the ball. He's in there for a touchdown.
The World Championship game is a great thrill. You don't know until it's over how much of an impact that game is, and you're a winner.
There are probably hundreds and hundreds of fans now on the field. The Browns have won the championship 27-0.